All right, and we're back for part 3 of the journey to Drupal 9 for DrupalEasy.com. Pick up almost where we left off last week. I actually did a couple of things this morning, so let's go over that first. So we'll call this offline, but what I did this morning, because of the Drupal security update that came out yesterday, I wanted to get my site updated. So I uninstalled GDPR and checklist API from all environments for now. And then I exported and committed my config, which include the disabling. I updated core to 8.9.1, and then I pushed everything to live. So everything's live, and I had to do a config import and update database along the way. And then while I was at it, I updated my local database. So remote environments are all synced up with my local environment. I basically merged the Drupal 9 branch that we were working on into master this morning and pushed all that up. So not a whole lot, which is related to what this Drupal 9 project is, but I did want to mention I did do these things this morning. Okay, so the other thing I noticed was that there was a update for upgrade status just earlier today, as a matter of fact. So I figure it's probably a good idea to keep this up to date. So I was thinking the first 2 or 3 things we're going to do is number one, I am going to get rid of this composer deploy module. I'm not seeing the benefit, and I see a lot of PHP warnings. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to upgrade status. We're going to get rid of this, but I'm going to move the upgrade status to the local split. And then I don't think I'm going to remove anything yet. I might save this all for the end where I remove all these unused projects, of which there's a few of them now. These are all unused, modules, and I don't know if there's any base themes in there, but all code that we don't need right now on the site. So let's go ahead and get started. So let me just do, my Git status, make sure I'm clean. I am clean. I pulled in everything, so I know we're up to date there. So let's just start. I'm gonna, here, I'll stay out of the composer. Update Drupal/upgrade status with dependencies. So let's get this going. And we're gonna try and multitask. I don't think it's gonna break anything. But while that's going, let's go into our config split settings. And I'm going to edit the local stuff, because really we only need the upgrade status on local for now. So I'm going to go ahead and just move that along with stage file proxy into the split. And I'll come over here because we're going to have to export here in a minute or two, but we're going to wait for this bit to be done. So, I was thinking that, we should probably check upgrade status for updates every week, because you never know, maybe it's going to find more stuff, or it's going to do better scanning or something. So it's probably best to keep that up to date. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So we got some deprecation notices. I'm going to do a symphony. I'm not going to worry about that. All right, so that looks like it's done. So let's just come over to available updates again. And upgrade status now at 2.8. All right, so what I'm going to do then, I know this is going to take a couple minutes, and hopefully this is not going to break anything, but I'm going to rescan the custom modules that are enabled, as well as the contributed projects. I don't think much is going to change, but let's go ahead and get those scanned. And an illegal choice has been detected. Oh, probably because I didn't, let me reload this page. Oops. I did not reload since I updated the module, so might as well, let's just be careful about all this.
Yeah, there was a UI change.
All right. Do you know what it was?
He took upgrade status out of the list.
Check out what status?
He took the upgrade status module out of the list of options that you can select unless you're in testing mode.
Oh, okay. So it's not in the list. It can't scan itself. Okay. So that's going to take a couple minutes. So while that's going, we're going to come back over here and let's do a ddev.drush pm uninstall composer deploy. And that was the module that we tried. That, you know, upgrade status, I thought recommended it, but where is it? But I didn't really see what the advantage was, so I'm going to disable it or uninstall it for now. And hopefully it's not going to break anything that we're in the middle of scanning. You see this scanner takes, you know, it's going to go through all the code and stuff for all those 30 projects, so it's going to take a couple of minutes. So we're going to let that do its thing. All right, so we have upgraded update status. I've disabled composer deploy, and I added upgrade status to the local split. So let's go over here to synchronize, and so these settings are going to get blown away. This is the core extension. The diff here is just going to be the fact that we disabled this and our new split stuff. So let's go ahead and do a ddev.drush cex-y. That is config export. All right, so I always like to, it's not that I don't trust it. I do always like to eyeball. Yeah, so upgrade status settings are in there. Stage file proxy settings are now in there. So I don't know why that's, there we go. Close, there we go. All right, so Git Status. So we got the upgrade. We've got some config changes, composer.lock. Why isn't my composer.json changed? Oh, I haven't removed the module. That's why. Okay, I disabled it. Okay, so the lock has changed because we upgraded upgrade status. The composer.json is not changed because I did not composer remove the composer deploy. All right, so let's do a git add config, git add composer.lock, as well as web modules contrib upgrade status, git status, git add vendor, since I am committing my dependencies, and then git add config split. Git status. Everything that I expect to be in there is in there. Git commit-m updated, upgrade status, uninstalled config deploy. No, not config, composer deploy. Composer deploy updated, and then yeah, I'll just do this. Split out upgrade status config. There we go. That's a solid commit message right there. All right, git status. Okay, so the kind of these little tasks that we mentioned I want to take care of. So we got those taken care of. This should return clean now, which it does. Oh, now we're getting undefined variables from upgrade status, PHP notices. And again, these are, you know, I have my local set to show me all errors. So these are just PHP notices, not super, you know, not even slightly major, but probably something that should be fixed. So we're going to let that just keep on rolling. I guess while we're just sitting here, because at this point we're waiting for this page to finish. So it's about two-thirds of the way through. So let's just see if this is a reported issue for upgrade status. I probably put too much in there. Undefined variable results. Let's try just that. Scanning contributed projects fail with curl error when scanning through the UI over HTTP. Am I over HTTP? I don't think I am. No, I'm HTTPS. I don't think I want to go down this rabbit hole. Let's try this one. Errors. Actually, here, let's add this to it as well. Let's change it to errors and then put that. Let's get rid of the punctuation just in case that's an issue. Same issue. Scanning contributor projects fail with curl error when scanning through the UI over HTTP. And I wonder if it's specifically HTTP or if this error can be happening over HTTPS as well, in which case that would make sense, but not going to worry about it. Not yet. Just about done here. Let's close that. I like to keep my status report open. So keep that open and we'll come here and hopefully this is just about done. Makes for a really boring screencast. We're waiting for this stuff. Let's check our list here, make sure module notes. So these are things we're waiting on. So actually here, let's see where config split is because we were waiting for a full release. So let's go check that out. I'm pretty sure there's been no movement on GDPR. So we're still at RC3, so we're not going to worry about this yet. GDPR, I don't think there's been any movement. Environment indicator, let's check that one. Nope, that's still way back. So there was a new dev version today, so that's progress. That means that there was a commit. Oops, let's see. Yeah, so there was a commit this morning. So progress is being made. I don't think, well, hard to tell if these are specifically Drupal 9 fixes, but. All right, here we go, we're done. Okay, so still no known errors with our custom modules. So we're gonna assume those are good to go. Config filter, it's already compatible. Config split, we're waiting on for the final release of that. Environment indicator, we're waiting for. EU cookie compliance, we're good. Field group. All right, so I guess this is where we left off. There is now a 3.1 release. Fixes some Drupal 9 compatibility issues. So I think this one's probably safe to take care of. So let's go ahead and do that. So let me make this a little bigger. Again, Git status, compose, ddev, composer update Drupal / field group with dependencies. We'll let that run while that's running. Oh yeah, so we got a Google Analytics. So I have to decide if I want to go up to the 3 branch or stay on the 2.x branch. So I'm going to lean towards going up to the 3.x branch. Requires Drupal 886 plus, that's fine. So I guess what I'm most concerned about is going from 2.x to 3.x. So let's come over here. Are there any, so there's not really anything here that talks about moving from 2.x to 3.x. We'll go to the beta, see if there's anything there. I'm not using any advanced features. Upgrading from 8.x to 2.x should work, but advanced settings, JavaScript code snippets are not automatically migrated and may cause malfunction. So I am 95% sure I do not have anything funky. Where is it? Search and metadata. Do I not have it enabled? No, I must. Google Analytics. I was looking in the wrong place. Yeah, okay, so there's my property ID, track on single domain. Custom, I don't have any custom dimensions, no custom metrics, no custom JavaScript code. Yeah, I think this is as vanilla as it gets. So I think we're safe to update to 3.1. So let's see how this one's going. Field group, we went up to 3.1, lock file, regular depreciation notices. All right, so let's reload this. I am not even going to worry about this field group update to 3.1. I'm not even sure where I'm using field group. Yeah, I'm going to trust it's just going to work. I know I'm not using it on the front end, that's for sure. So let's just commit that. Well, here, let's also do it's a little bit cowboy of me to do, but what the heck. Git status, git add web modules, contrib field group, git add composer.lock as well as vendor, git status. All right, so everything's in field group or the installed or the composer, that's good. Git commit -m updated field group module 2 8.x-3.1. Now, I guess my only, as I look at this, and I don't know if someone else has the answer to this. I mean, if there's warnings, is that, like, how bad are warnings? Like, I'm going to assume, I'm kind of going on the assumption, errors are showstoppers. Errors are, I can't go to Drupal, I can't use Drupal 9 with errors.
A lot of the errors are just on testing stuff because you don't have the all the dev stuff loaded on your project. So yeah, the PHP unit tests and all that stuff are what most of the warnings that I've run into.
Well, no, these are deprecated methods. This, yeah, so the warnings are, okay, errors are showstoppers though, right?
Correct.
Okay, so if I see warnings, I'm not gonna worry. If I see errors, that's where, okay.
Well, you can check the warnings, but there might be one or two that aren't, like the unit tests and things like that. Yeah. But for the most part, yeah, it's. And the other thing I got on warnings was that it couldn't verify that a library was loaded.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if that was part of the testing too, but.
So you're saying then,
right.
David, is if I do a required dev on Drupal core dev, that a lot of those warnings will go away.
I haven't tested that. Does that?
Yeah, core dev is.
That's what they use for testing on Drupal.org, right? For running all those tests.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the core. That's the dev dependencies, and if we just look at this one, that's, you know, all of this stuff. Well, let's try it. Why not? So let's do one thing at a time here. I'm going to update Google Analytics, and then we'll add core dev, and we'll rerun these things. All right. So, okay. So if I'm going to update
It's the worst
Google
that can happen.
Analytics,
You just have to roll back.
yeah, if I'm going to update Google Analytics, I do want to go, I want to update my composer.json to 3.0 branch. And then I can tell it to
Yeah, I would probably do separate updates so that you could just take the one out if you wanted to.
separate commits. Yeah, I'm going to do it in different commits for sure. Yep. So now you got me curious. Let's see. Are these all? Yeah, these are all just. So what's happening, I believe what's happening is there is an automated test inside of admin toolbar that uses this class, but this class is not found because I'm not using core dev. I believe that's what that's saying. Okay, so Google Analytics has been updated. So let's reload the status report, see if we have any database updates. Database updates out of date. There could have been one for field group as well. I didn't even check, which there is. So there's one for field group and one for Google Analytics. So let's go ahead and apply those. And let's add that to our list here. Can't type. Field group and Google Analytics. Okay, those look pretty straightforward. Come over here and hit reload. All right, database is up to date. Come back over here, check if there's any config that was related. No, let's go to Google Analytics and just make sure that this still saves with no issues. And after it saves, is there any changed configuration? Yes, there was. Okay, so that's always a good check, is resave the configuration page because you might get something. Premium false. That's super important. So let's do a ddev.drush cex-y. All right, Git status. Git add web modules, contrib Google Analytics. I know the composer.lock and composer.json and the vendor directory and the config directory all have changes. So let's try and get them all at once. And I think we did. So we modified composer.json in order to get the 3.x branch of Google Analytics, the lock file, obviously. There's that config we just exported, the vendor directory, since we are committing dependencies. And then here is the actual updated module. So that's all good. Git commit-m updated Google Analytics to 8.x-3.0. What version was it? Or 1?
3.1, I thought.
3.1, yes. So let's reload that page as well. 3.1 exported, updated config. Git status. Okay, so let's reload that. Google Analytics is now at 3.1. Status report is good, and we are synced there. Okay, and Google Analytics 3.1. So this still says 44 errors, but we're gonna have to rescan. So, but let's add core dev first. So let's do a ddev composer require, and I want to put this in dev. So little, just a reminder, everything in the require section is like what's necessary for production. If it's like testing, or you can see I have devel and stage file proxy, I don't use these on production, so I put these in required dev. And the advantage is that eventually when I'm not committing dependencies, I can do a composer install no dev, which will only install the production ones. So I'm going to add Drupal core dev, which was the one we just looked at. I closed the window already, but I think I can open it. Maybe, yeah, there we go. So I'm going to add this Drupal core dev dependency, which is basically going to get all of the testing stuff, which would hopefully get rid of a lot of those warnings. So let's add this.
Does the -dev module option only work for the root JSON? The root composer JSON?
Yeah, well, as opposed to, I'm not sure what you're asking. Oh, look at that. I got version 9. I don't think I want version 9.
In other words, if a module had, a module wouldn't be able to specify dev stuff, would it?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Oh, look at that. We can't do it. Why can't we do it? So we can't do it, you know, I'm sure we can't do it because of core. Oh, but like masterminds. Okay, so what is the conflict? Okay, so it's only trying to install 9, so that's good because I don't want 9. I want 8.9. So I'm surprised it didn't try and install 8.9. Don't install blah, blah, blah because of this, but so it's now 8.9. This should,
I think on upgrade status, one of the commits was to tell you to run it on version 8 and not version 9.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. We got it again. Drupal core dev requires Symfony Finder. Drupal core dev, Symfony Finder. These conflict with the, so what? Okay, so let's do, so we're going to do some composer stuff here. So let's do a ddev SSH. Let's figure out why we can't install core dev. That is surprising. Okay, composer depends, Symfony. So this is gonna tell us what depends on Symfony Finder. Yes, use the one. I should have gone up one directory, which I'll do now. Do I? Oh, I'm actually requiring Symfony Finder here, which I don't think I need to do. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So let's try this. Composer remove. Keep doing that. So I think this is a remnant of, you know, because this project did not start out using core recommended. It started out as the Drupal Composer Drupal project template, which did have Symfony Finder as a direct dependency. But I don't think it needs to be a direct dependency anymore, even though it's required by Drush and this composer cleanup directories. And these 3, I believe, are, look at that, it updated it. So when I remove the direct dependency, all right, so it removed it from as a direct dependency. Composer update, no, I don't want to do that. Let's do, so composer require Drupal core dev : 8.9. And I want -- dev. require core dev 8.9 in the dev section. All right, let's see if this works. So while that's going, let me see. So what was the actual? Oh, it requires 3.4. Oh, but I'm higher than 3.4. Okay, so I know what to do then. What we can do is, I don't think this is going to work. I think we're going to get the same thing. Yeah. Okay. But so what we can do is we can actually, so what's blocking it now is we installed Drush, which requires either this or this. So it installed the higher. But now we're saying core dev, and core dev requires the lower. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove Drush, which is going to allow us to downgrade. Well, do we have to remove Drush? Let me see. Can only install. So basically, we need to downgrade. I wonder if I can just
Kill the composer lack in the vendor directory?
No, I don't like doing that. I definitely don't like doing that. It won't let me remove it. And see, what I don't want to do, I don't want to remove these because I'm pretty sure that these are required by core, Drupal core. Oh no, now what is not, now what depends on that? Like what depends on, I don't want to know what this depends on. I want to know what depends on that. I'm willing to bet this is like Drupal core stuff though. Even if I remove Drush, ultimately I'm gonna have to remove all of that. Yeah, this is a bit of a pickle.
I'm saying to downgrade, once you have to remove the Drush and the Symfony folders then at least? And the lack file, because that's all keeping it up.
It doesn't, I mean, these four are keeping it up, you know. In order for me to get core dev to install, I can't be on version 4 of Symfony Finder. And the only way to not be on version 4 of Symfony Finder is to remove it and then reinstall it along with core dev. But to remove it, Composer will not remove it as long as these 4 things are depending on it. So just removing
I mean,
Drush
that's why I thought I had heard that the composer lack in the vendor.
Yeah, I really don't want to do that though, because then I got to go back. I got to pin all my modules again, and I don't want to do that. Right? That's not something I'm willing to do yet. What is the command? Not composer. Why is it? Why not? Compose. Well, why not work? Why not? Why can't I update that? All right, so Robo. So Robo is the one that's blocking it. So let's try that. Composer, why not? Why can't I update that? Oh, because Drush requires that. Okay, so it might work to get rid of Drush first. All right, everybody see what happened there? So I'm trying to figure out like what requires these things. So I first said, why not basically says, why can't I update this? So I did a composer, why not on that annotated command. And it said, well, you can't because composer robo 1412, wants this version. So then I said, okay, well, why can't I update robo? And I said, I can't update robo because Drush requires that, which basically means these 4 things all boil down to Drush. So if I do a composer, remove Drush first, that should get rid of all 4 of these because nothing else depends on them according to this stuff. And then I'm going to do a composer require Drush, and Drupal core dev at the same time. And then at that point, Composer will find the right version of Symfony file system that satisfies everything. Yeah, there is the annotated command. There's the robo stuff. All right, so I think this is going to work. All right, so now we're going to do a composer require Drupal core dev and Drush at the same time. And we'll let composer. So we're still getting, oh shit. Oops, sorry. Oh gosh. And I'm on the recording. So I don't want 9. I forgot to add my my dependency there. So sorry about my language. 8.9. Can't type 8.9. Okay. So I definitely want 8.9, and I'm still going to get the same version of Drush, and Composer is going to figure out the right version of Symfony Finder to satisfy both. So we're basically letting Composer do what it does best. All right, so if I go back here. Oh, I forgot to add. Oh, do I need quotes? How come I don't see? Oh, and I forgot to do dev. That sucks. Could I put? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stop it again. I'm gonna try this because I want this in dev. So let me install core dev first, and then that should get me the lower version of Symfony Finder, but I believe Drush will work with that. So, all right, one more try. I'm not seeing it. I'm hoping. Did I not put the? What? What? Compose. Oh, geez, not up there. Load file system changes. Okay. Composer depends Symfony Finder. Oh, top 4. Okay. Well, I'm going to get rid of that then as well. Composer remove top floor. Composer, and I'll re-add that one. Clean up. VCS DIRS. I'm just going to kill everything until I can get what I want. It even went up to version 5. We want, somewhere in version 3 for core dev. Okay, so the only thing I'm going to change here is I don't know if it matters. I don't think it does, but I was a little bit concerned that I didn't see it show up in my required dev section. Composer require dev Drupal core dev version 8.9 go. There we go. Now it showed up. So I don't think it has anything to do with, well, I'd be surprised if moving that inside matters, but we're going to let that happen first. So core dev seems to be the thing that's most sensitive to, oh, you're kidding me. Why is Symfony Finder still installed? Composer depends Symfony Finder. Did I not remove that? Oh, because I typo. Typo, and then I didn't bother to read the result. All right, so now I've got to, after core dev, I have to reload I have to require top floor and Drush. Okay, remove Symphony Finder. That's good. That's a good sign. And remove the top floor stuff. Okay, so we've removed that. There should be nothing blocking core dev at this point, which I think I've said that about 6 times now, at least in my head. All right, Symphony Finder, there it is, 3.4.42. So we have core dev is just about done. And then we can circle back and add Drush and the top floor one. And top floor could really be in required dev because I would only ever do that on local. So I think I can put top floor. And Drush, I'm going to keep Drush in require. This is hosted on Pantheon, and I don't know. I think Pantheon will use it in require. So I'm going to come over here and do require to get these things back in. Require, well, here, let me put this one in dev, like I said. So I'm going to put that one in dev. And there it is. That one's not back in dev. So yeah, so just with a little bit of just sleuthing and using, you saw I used depends and I used why not, you can normally figure out what the conflict is so that you don't have to do what is, what a lot of people call like the nuclear option, which is deleting the composer outlock and deleting vendor. I look at it like as a puzzle to solve. And if I have to do that, I kind of feel like I'm letting it beat me. So I really don't like to do that unless I absolutely have to. So usually, composer depends, composer why not, and then a combination of, sometimes composer remove and composer require, and, ultimately we are ending up getting the latest version of all the tools that we want. We're getting core dev, we're getting, Drush 10, we still have the top floor, composer plugin that I had before. So the end result is we're getting the stuff we want. We just kind of had to talk nicely to composer for a little while in order to get it. So we're in DrupalEasy office hours right now for those of you watching the recording, which are weekly office hours for alumni and graduates of our class. I guess alumni and graduates would be the same thing, of our long form Drupal Career Online class. So we're going to go past our normal closing time for office hours just so I can finish this up. Okay, so I think we're good. I mean, I'm going to exit out that. If I do a Git status, there's going to be lots of statuses. Yeah, all kinds of new, from core dev mainly, and then some changes there. Look, notice that there's no changes to Drush. Oh, there's one little change. I probably, changed a maintenance version of Drush. No changes to Drush, or that one little change to Drush, and no change to top floor. So really, it was just some massaging. So all that being said, let's just reload all these. None of these should be affected because we didn't really touch a whole lot of Drupal code unless you count Drush as Drupal code. So none of this stuff should change. And then this is where, again, this is going to be a good time to go, make a sandwich or something. Because I'm going to rerun all of these. It's going to be 27 of them, not quite as many because we're not doing those 3. But I do want to see if those warnings go away. If all this was worth the time we spent. everything all here still looks good. So let's just do this and scan selected. And off we go.
Do you have to specify no dev all the time in order to cut that off, or is there something you can put in your main Composer JSON so that it doesn't default to the dev options?
I don't know the answer to that. I just use, you know, Composer install no dev. I suspect there's probably some configuration you can do, because I know that, do I have it here? I don't think I do. Where's the config section? Yeah. So, you know, in the config section of this composer.json, I'm always optimizing the autoloader, and that's normally a switch. So, I mean, we have time. So let's go look. Get composer, documentation, config no dev. So that's install and update. Now let's just look in config. Oh, wait, where are we? Is this all config? I just want like the config section. Oh, this might be the whole config section. So what was the one we just looked at? Sort packages, optimize autoloader. Are those both in here? Sort packages, yeah, okay. So David, do you see anything in here that might be no dev or optimize?
What was the preferred install near the top?
No, that's just if you're getting distribution
okay.
or clones. Yeah, I don't see anything. That's surprising, because I was actually surprised when I saw this, because this is normally something you do on the command line, but you can you know, always optimize, which is probably not a bad idea. I don't think. I've never run into issues with it. All right, not quite halfway done. So I was asked, I taught the Composer Basics for Drupal developers class the other day, and I was asked, I'm probably going to do it this weekend. I'm going to rework that, the curriculum a little bit to basically put all in one list, all in one place, kind of the utility Composer plugins that I use / recommend. So we're talking stuff like this top floor, Composer cleanups, VCS directory. I mean, the two that I mainly use are that and, you know, Composer patches. I really need to switch. You know what? Maybe I'll make it a to-do. I really need to switch this over to the core scaffolding. I'm going to add that as a to-do list. Switch to core Composer scaffolding plugin. It's just laziness that I haven't done that yet, and I really like that plugin, so there's really no we can get rid of all of this for now. Oh yeah, so yeah, go back to here. So are there any other, and I'm not talking Drupal modules, I'm talking like Composer plugins that anybody uses that I don't have listed here? I mean, really the three that I can, well, Composer installers, but that's not part of core recommended. So we don't care about, I don't want to say we don't care about it, but it's not listed. The three I normally have listed, I guess, are Composer patches, which is awesome. The scaffolding tool, which, you know, this is kind of the old one. We should switch it to the new one, as I just mentioned. And then the third one is really this one. And I'm just curious, I might do some Googling this weekend if there's other Composer plugins that a lot of Drupal developers use. So maybe for those of you watching the video, or, you know, those of us in office hours here, if there's any that you know of or that you've seen, just, you know, ping me on Slack or let me know. I'd be curious to know what other Composer plugins are being used by Drupal developers. Yeah, there's still a bunch of old stuff in here that you know, I can get rid of this. I can get rid of, I know, but we'll do all that at once. Get this more in line with best practices. All right, let's close that. So I guess what we can do while that thing is running, let's do a git status. Oh, well, git add vendor. I added a git repository. Oh boy, okay. So this happened because I uninstalled the top floor module temporarily. So what we have to do is we have to go into, so where am I? Git status. Here, let's do this. Let's go to vendor, Drupal coder. And, oh, actually, I can't do it there. I've got to do it in a, it's best if I do it in a Finder window. So give me a second. I'll drag one over there. See if I can beat the clock. Vendor, Drupal coder. There's the offending Git directory. So let's just get rid of that. That's going to cause us issues. So let me just do a git reset head on vendor. All right, so that's basically going to take all this. I'm just going to do this because I'm not sure if I'm going to still have a submodule issue. Oh, come on. You've added blah, 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 clones will not contain. If you add this path by mistake, you can remove it. Yeah. So let me just reset. Okay, so now if I do a git status, all right, now I'll just re-add the vendor directory. I shouldn't have that submodule issue anymore, which I don't. Git status, git add composer.json and composer. So that's exactly what this, oops, wrong directory, sorry. This top floor composer cleanup VCS directory solves that exact problem. And because I had it removed for a few minutes, you know, something snuck in. So that's why I use this one. All right, so I'll go ahead and finish this commit, git status, git commit -m, added Drupal core dev to assist with upgrade status report. Git status, and we're clean. All right, so I got those. That's awesome. And oh, there's definitely fewer errors. So that actually did it. Oh, so there's still a deprecated function. So look at that. So it says address is compatible. So I wonder if this is a false positive. Oh, it's in a test. All right. So there's a deprecated function in a test, which should not affect address module in use. Let's see if this is similar. Oh, this is config split. This one we haven't updated yet. Contact storage, 2 errors. I like the fact it's errors, but a check mark. That's annoying. But again, deprecated functions in test, so should not affect us. All right, so that definitely did knock down the number. Let's see. The formatter accordion library is dependent on deprecated library. Okay, this was in the message. If you're going to use the field, the accordion group, you have to add another library. Yeah, so that was in the update message, which I'm not using, so I'm not going to worry about. And how far I got down to Google Analytics was the last one I did. All right, so I think we're getting there. This doesn't look so scary anymore because this number was what, like 600 a little while ago. Now we're down to 101. So we're getting there. Okay, I think that's a good place to stop. Any questions from the folks watching this live or comments? No? All right, well, stay tuned for next week's episode.
Thank you, Mike.
I should end on a cliffhanger next time, like halfway through a scan or something. That'd be exciting. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording. I'll see everyone next time.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Bye.
Bye.